Hello, everyone. I'm Natalia Bilbao, and here's what's happening in LA this week. Mayor Eric Garcetti recently attended a very special naturalization ceremony at the LA Central Library's Mark Taper Auditorium. The U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services was on hand to administrate the oath of allegiance to 26 Southland children who have obtained citizenship through their parents. Check this one out.
This is a citizenship ceremony with the United States Citizenship and Immigration Service, and it's for youth. And it's particularly special to us at the library because Services for Immigrants is a very prominent premier service here. So these citizenship ceremonies are extra special, a bit emotional, and very celebratory, being able to see people conclude that journey and become U.S. citizens.
I'm very excited. I mean, there's much more things you can do being a citizen and without a citizen, so it just opens up more things that you can do.
For me, these young people are our future. And in a city of belonging, which we're trying to build, where people understand this is their city, this is their country, there's nothing more courageous than families who have come here and the children who choose to become citizens of the United States.
Well, es un paso muy importante para la familia, pues es una seguridad todos estos tiempos que están pidiendo de migración. No tenemos nada seguro hasta que llegamos a este paso. Antes de esto es como estar en una cuerda floja, y más para nosotros que venimos apenas hace poco a este país. Es muy importante para nosotros que ahora mi hija también tenga una ciudadanía.
We are very happy, very excited. So we were waiting 6 years almost. And yeah, happy day.
It's wonderful to convey a message of how important immigrants are to our city, how important they are to our economy, and the importance of naturalization. And it also, frankly, is a nice way for the library to remind all of the attendees here today of all the great services that the library offers, letting people know that the library is here for them and the Los Angeles Public Library is their library.
This week brought the launch of PlayLA, a new collaboration between Mayor Garcetti, LA Parks, and LA 28, the organizing committee for the 2028 Olympic and Paralympic Games. The initiative will provide affordable and accessible sports programming to young Angelenos of all abilities. Ready, set, play!
This is a momentous occasion for us here in Recreation and Parks. The PlayLA initiative is an agreement that's investing $160 million into sports for kids of all abilities across the city of Los Angeles.
This is about exposure that brings opportunity to our community and gives them a chance to really be and achieve anything that they want to be. In the world of sports and the Olympics is a great avenue for them to express themselves and even excel into a world that they never thought was possible.
There's no question that kids that actually have an active lifestyle have great results, whether that's in school or in life. So anything that we can do to reduce the barriers of entry for kids to get involved in all sport is something that we're trying to begin that journey today with kids having more and more access to play.
Who's been over to the swimming pool? Isn't the swimming pool amazing? Who's been over to the soccer field? Is the soccer field amazing?
It definitely helps keeping kids off the streets and become more exposed to different sports. So from hockey to basketball to any type of sport that's involved with adaptive sports.
Growing out in South LA, you rarely get these opportunities even in a school setting. And so just having this opportunity to be with the community and him exploring different sports also, can lead to him wanting to learn more and be more involved.
Councilwoman Monica Rodriguez rolled up her sleeves and pitched in for the latest phase of the Cool Pavements program. Now, 11 blocks in Sylmar have more trees and cooler streets in residential areas. Take a look.
So this morning we're continuing our second phase of the Cool Pavement program here in the community of Sylmar. As a result of this expansion of this program, we're going to be doing over 11 miles here in the 7th District, and that's in addition to the nearly 200 trees that we'll also be planting in and around these areas.
Streets LA is our holistic approach as we come into neighborhoods. We want to, not only resurface the street, we want to plant trees, we want to repair sidewalks, and when we leave, basically we want to apply these cool surface treatments when and where we can throughout the city. So what we're doing today is a cool pavement application on the street. Cool pavement basically reduces temperature as it reflects the sun's heat, versus having traditional asphalt, darker asphalt materials that actually absorb more heat. And so putting a cool pavement on there actually reflects the sun's rays, reducing temperatures by at least 10 degrees.
This top coat of a lighter color sealant that goes on our black asphalt, that is a benefit to everybody, particularly when it can get so incredibly hot in our summer times. We want to do everything possible to mitigate the continuing effects of climate change here in the 7th District, but we're also going to be doing this throughout the city of Los Angeles.
At Streets LA, we believe in a holistic approach to reduce the heat island effect. In neighborhoods like this that have lack of shade, this is important. That will basically make it more pleasant at night during the day as far as to enjoy and walk this community.
This recent paving project in Sylmar is part of a phase called Cool Neighborhoods, which will add 60 miles of cool pavement and nearly 2,000 trees throughout Los Angeles. Councilmember Gil Cedillo is a proud supporter of the arts and how they can teach us about local history. He recently obtained historic designations for 2 iconic cultural centers, Mexicano Arts Center and Centro de Arte Público. This week, we're on hand for the unveiling of a new mural, Champions of Change.
Today we're unveiling a new mural here on the north side of the city, the northeast. But this mural is part of a tradition. It's part of the tradition of the Mexican muralists in the 30s and 40s. Those who then went to New York and trained the great American artists like Jacob Lawrence. And it's a mural that tells the rich history of leadership and change here in Lincoln Heights.
It's an honor. Because first of all, I'm coming into a community that isn't my own, but they've trusted me enough to represent them through a work of art. From left to right, you have Sal Castro. Then next to him, you have Ruth Vivian Acosta, who co-authored Title IX. Then you have Bobby Castillo, who's a local kid that grew up here that ended up being a pitcher for the Dodgers. And then you have Leo Santa Cruz, who's also a multiple title boxer and currently boxing as well. Then you have Kenny Washington, who was the first African-American to be signed to the NFL and reintegrating the NFL after years of an apartheid. And then you have, lastly, Paula Crisostomo, who was just a teenager when she was part of the walkouts in 1968, along with Sal Castro.
I'm relatives to Bobo because my grandmother and his mother are sisters. And we all grew up in Happy Valley. We're a very close-knit family. It inspires me. Today, I also represent this area. I work out of the LAC USC, focusing on Lincoln Heights, Boyle Heights, and Sereno. So the legacy goes on in our family, and I'm very proud to say that he started that. He trailblazed it and never forgot where he came from.
Un gran historia aquí en Lincoln Heights, un gran historia aquí en Distrito Número 1, y ellos son campeones por la ciudad de Los Ángeles.
Councilmember Kevin DeLeon has been appointed as chairperson of the Homelessness and Poverty Committee for the City of Los Angeles. DeLeon comes armed with his Away Home plan, which calls for the rapid development of at least 25,000 homeless housing resources by 2025. We joined the councilmember to discuss why he is the right person at the right time to hold this leadership position.
Without question, this is the #1 issue throughout the city of LA. Everyone across the board has been talking about the homelessness issue that's out of control. On any given night, we have more than 41,000 individuals living on our streets or sidewalks or alleyways in their parks and their cars. Well, those individuals, they need help. They shouldn't be left alone on the streets. And unfortunately, it's become normalized. It's like white noise, part of the background, part of the natural landscape of Los Angeles. It shouldn't have to be. It should make you irate. It should make you angry. It should just completely shock you. For a lot of bureaucrats in government, it doesn't shock them. It becomes part of the natural, normal landscape. And that's wrong, and that's what we have to change. I have the distinction of having the most homeless individuals anywhere in the entire city of Los Angeles. In fact, to give this some context of the magnitude of this crisis, I have more unhoused individuals in every city in the United States of America except for 3, New York, Los Angeles as a whole, and Chicago. If we're gonna really deal with this issue, we have to provide the housing that's necessary and move with a sense of urgency, immediacy to get them off the street. We can't pontificate and continue to theorize on this issue. Everyone across the board believes that this is the #1 issue, believes that we have to do something about this issue. But it's not just about believing, it's about actually doing. And that's what Angelinos want. Just a few weeks ago, we did a grand ceremony where we cut the ribbon, the largest tiny home village, not in LA, but in the United States of America. So effectively, within a few months in the northeast part of LA, will be Eagle Rock, Highland Park, Carranza, Herman, Monterey Hills, Highland Park, that area, we should have all of our unhoused individuals off the streets, out of our alleyways and parks, and into an environment that's safer, that's more conducive to stabilize their lives. It's not the perfect solution, but we can't let the perfect get in the way of the good. If we can move heaven and earth to build sports stadiums, football stadiums, concert venues, high rises into the clouds, then we can move heaven and earth. And do even more than that to build the housing, to find the housing that's necessary to get folks off the street.
Donate to the Spread the Warmth Blanket and Socks Drive. Mayor Garcetti speaks at the COP26 in Glasgow, and the LA Public Library wants you to discover and go. These stories up next on City Beat.
The return of colder temperatures brings the return of the Spread the Warmth Blanket and Socks Drive. The Solid Resources Citywide Recycling Division of LA Sanitation and Environment spearheads this annual drive. The department is accepting donations of new and gently used blankets, sleeping bags, and socks at drop-off sites citywide. The drive runs November 1st through December 31st. All donations will serve as targeted support for the homeless community. For more information on where to donate, visit lacitysan.org or call 213-485-2260. At the COP26 summit in Glasgow, Mayor Eric Garcetti announced that over 1,000 cities have joined the Cities Race to Zero initiative. Cities Race to Zero is a worldwide coalition committed to resilient climate action underpinned by science-based targets. A commissioned study suggests this collective action could reduce current global emissions by at least 1.4 gigatons yearly. To learn more about the global effort by the world's mayors to reduce carbon emissions, visit C40knowledgehub.org. Ready to get out and visit some of LA's best attractions? Discover and Go is a program that offers free and low-cost passes for museums, science centers, and other cultural destinations. The program is a partnership between the Los Angeles Public Library and institutions such as the Grammy Museum, LA Zoo, and the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures. This program is available to city residents age 18 and over with a Los Angeles Public Library card in good standing. This is a great way to explore the many museums and art exhibitions throughout LA. To explore LA with Discover and Go, grab your library card and log on at lapl.discoverandgo.net.
For years, the My LA 311 app has been one of the best ways to contact city agencies when you have municipal needs and concerns. Well, with the addition of new interactive options and interface updates, the app has made connecting with city services easier than ever to even more residents. Check out the new look.
My LA 311 mobile app is a free application and it's easy to use, and it will help you access a thing called the City Services Directory, which is actually a listing of over 1,000 city services, everything from programs available for youth, for veterans, for the homeless community, senior services. It's also a way for people to submit service requests if there are problems in the public area that the city is responsible for. Most recently, we've updated the mobile app to be available in some other languages besides English, some commonly used languages in Los Angeles. So we've updated the app that's now available in Spanish, Korean, Armenian, and Chinese, both traditional and simplified. One feature of the mobile app that people may not realize is a feature called City Info. And if they're using their phone while they're out walking the streets in Los Angeles, they can push the button on City Info and it will actually bring up a map with locations of city facilities and services that are near them. And it'll even allow them to click on each one, see the actual address, their phone number, their hours of operation, so that people can take advantages of services in their communities. We're very happy to add new functionality to the mobile app. It's available 24/7 for people who want to do self-service, report things quickly, or find out city information. It's available on both Android and iPhone at the app stores. It's free. Just search for My LA 311.
Councilmember Mitchell Farrell recently celebrated a milestone for the 75th Council Member in Your Corner project with a neighborhood outreach event. The council member went door to door, talked with and visited his constituents in Council District 13 to commemorate this anniversary. Councilmember O'Farrell also led a day of service, which included a volunteer community cleanup on a section of Santa Monica Boulevard. Check this out.
This is an exciting day because we're doing our Council Member in Your Corner, and it's our 75th one since being in office. So it's a celebration, and we're doing what we do once a month. We're just knocking on doors, going door to door, bringing local government to someone's home. People, when you knock on their door, they think that you're asking for something. Well, we're offering something. We're not asking for anything. And so if a constituent has something they want to talk to me about, or an idea, or they have a concern, then I can hear from them directly at their door.
Pues la verdad es que me hace sentir muy bien porque lo que me dice es que tengo un council member, no sé cómo decir council member en español, que está, que le importa nuestro vecindario, nuestra comunidad, y para mí eso es muy importante porque yo soy una persona que ha vivido en este distrito por más de 25 años. Y si pues me toca o si me invita a participar también, es muy importante.
It's also a day of service. There's a median on Sunset Boulevard, not far from here, and we're beautifying the median today. And then the Silver Lake Trash Club is out picking up trash, so it's a volunteer day of service as well.
I think it's really wonderful that we're beautifying the neighborhood and that there's so much community involvement and different departments are involved, and it's everyone coming together, for the common goal of beautifying this specific space.
It's important that community gets involved, and it's easy to ask for things and to complain about things, but I think it's important to get out there and actually do something and help people and help our community, because it's a tough time right now.
Councilwoman Monica Rodriguez has brought back the Dia de los Muertos celebration in Pacoima. The annual District 7 tradition has grown over the past years, with this year featuring resources like COVID testing and more. Take a look.
Today we brought back El Dia de los Muertos here in Pacoima. This has been an annual tradition that we've had since I've taken office, and it's continued to grow year after year. Sadly, through the pandemic, we weren't able to host this event in the same way we have become accustomed to, but this year we're back. We've got vaccines, we've got testing, we've got everyone wearing their mask, but we've got wonderful performances, and the community has just rallied to come together and celebrate the loved ones that we've lost.
For me, it's community medicine. It's an opportunity to help those who've lost somebody to grieve, but in a happy way. So let's remember them for the good, for the bad.
El Día de los Muertos es el día en que tenemos que recordar a todos nuestros fallecidos y tratar de ponerles un altar y recordarlos no nada más en el Día de los Muertos, pero todos los días.
A lot of our traditions, a lot of things that were passed down from my ancestors and was passed down to my grandparents and now to my mom and now to myself.
Want more Dia de los Muertos? LA's El Pueblo celebrated Dia de los Muertos over 9 nights with a procession honoring loved ones that have passed. Check it out.
El Día de los Muertos que estamos haciendo es una procesión que nosotros hacemos por 9 noches y va por toda la calle por toda la calle Olvera y paramos en el kiosco y hacemos una ofrenda a la gente que ha pasado y damos danza y música y rezos o poemas para la gente que ha pasado.
We come just to remember our loved ones and reminisce about the times we had with them and to respect everybody else's loved ones who have passed.
Dia de los Muertos is quite an ancient tradition. It has its roots in Aztec culture. It's also now mixed in with the Catholic religion. So we have different things that we put on our ofrendas. So we'll have maybe a statue or a picture of something religious, but we'll also have our picture of our loved ones. And we usually put things in there like candles for fire, salt for earth, water, papel picado to catch the air. So all of those things are very elemental, and those are things that we put on our ofrendas. We also use the flower, the cempasúchil flower, which is the miracle. This is also a symbol of the Day of the Dead. It has a very strong fragrance, and as it starts to decay, it gets even stronger. This is what brings the soul of our loved one to our home, to our ofrendas.
You know what, as we get older, we start to think about our lives a lot more, and we think about where we will be after, what our other life is. We pray for our family that's passed, and we pray that they've gone on to a better life, and I feel that it is a day that they are there to visit.
Most people seem to think that it's a sad time, but it really isn't. You're remembering them and all the good times that you had with your friends and the family that have passed away, and it's just a way to be able to bring that back. So it's very important in the community to do that.
November the 20th is National Transgender Day of Remembrance. In our feature story this week, members of the Los Angeles Transgender Advisory Council sit down with Channel 35's Maria Hallbrown to discuss the inception and significance of this annual observance.
How did the Transgender Day of Remembrance begin?
It's to memorialize Rita Hester. She was killed in 1998 in San Francisco. The following year, 1999, Rita Hester was memorialized. That started the Transgender Day of Remembrance.
You know, what are some of the things that are important to you during this month and just during the whole year, making sure that people understand what's happening in the community?
It's not just awareness, but also how can we make change in action? How can we go beyond just educating each other and our friends, our family, our coworkers, but how can we also implement policies, workplace guidelines, recommendations to be able to truly protect every single one of us.
Lucky, what positives are you seeing? And are you? Maybe I should ask that better.
Well, I'm seeing positives in the ways that our community is more and more visible. But the downside of that is with more visibility comes more violence. With more visibility comes a different kind of violence that shows up, especially when we talk about, our trans folks of color. Our trans sisters are being targeted in very specific ways. Even if we don't know them individually, it still has a very, very emotional impact on us as a community. We make up 1%. We make up 1% of the entire nation's community, right? And so being that we are such a small community, we all may not know each other, but we feel each other, and so there are improvements, but again, there are drawbacks that come with those improvements.
I think we get focused on this idea of visibility and representation, where on the day-to-day level, we have to think about, can I be visible in this space right now, or will I be attacked?
Me as a person, I just want respect. I just want to be respected as a human person, right? So if folks realize and remember that you are human no more than I am human, or no less, then let's give each other human respect.
Enjoy a family arts workshop at Angel's Gate. Sign on to LAPL's Reading to the Rescue or be part of the return of the iconic LA Zoo Lights 2021. All this up next on Things to Do.
Angel's Gate Cultural Center invites you to attend their November Family Art Workshop via Zoom. Join artist teacher Linda Ravenswood in a weaving workshop. Learn how to use textiles, recyclable paper, and other materials found at home, including twigs, branches, and leaves. Create your own unique woven design, wall hangings, or sculpture. The November Family Art Workshop from Angel's Gate Cultural Center happens Saturday, November 20th at 1 p.m. To register to participate in the workshop, please visit angelsgateart.org. The Exposition Park Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune Regional Library invites youngsters to their latest Reading to the Rescue online event. Kids are invited to practice reading aloud or listening to a story with a gentle therapy dog from Reading to the Rescue. These non-judgmental furry friends are great listeners. Reading to the Rescue kicks off Thursday, November 18th at 4 p.m. For more information on how to sign up to participate, visit lapl.org/events. Gather the whole family and get set to enjoy a beloved Southern California holiday tradition. LA Zoo Lights is a winter wonderland featuring wildlife-inspired displays, dynamic lights and projections, and seasonal magic. Zoo Lights' popular Twinkle Tunnel returns with an immersive tunnel of lights experience spanning a massive 200-foot-long structure. The event will also feature holiday treats, food, and exciting entertainment. Every evening, it will be a holiday wonderland with a disco ball forest, whimsical 3D animations, and much more. LA Zoo Lights returns November 19th and will be open nightly through January 9th. To learn more about LA Zoo Lights 2021, visit lazoo.org/zoolights. Don't miss out. And that's a look at some things to do.
And that's it for this edition. I'm Natalia Bilbao, and from all of us here at LA This Week, thank you so much for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org, and we're also on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. See you next time for more LA This Week.